Hi, welcome to Barker Canine Academy. Today I want to talk to you about being prepared for a hurricane. Make sure that your pet has a tag that includes your pet's name and your contact information. Make sure that contact information is correct. The microchip is very helpful if a collar comes off or their harness comes off. You have a secondary backup. The microchip gives you the best result for getting your pet returned to you. Make sure that you talk to your veterinarian, your friends, family for a safe boarding facility. This is really important if you need to evacuate and are unable to take your pet with you, that you can put them in a boarding facility. Make sure that you have a rescue alert sticker that is on your door or window that is clearly visible for emergency responders to see. And I'll put a link in the description below on a place that you can order those. Make sure you designate a caregiver if you can't make it back to your house. A neighbor or a friend that's close by that can come in and care for your pet is very important. Speak with a friend or family member that lives outside of the threat area. See if they can take your dog for a day or so, or a week until the threat has passed. You know a hurricane's rolling in and you need to go to work regardless. Make sure you're not leaving your pets outside. Bring them inside. They have a higher chance of survival if they're indoors versus outdoors. Consider getting a life jacket for your pet. In the worst case scenario of flooding, which happens a lot during hurricanes, you want to give them the best chance to survive that flooding. And make sure, no matter what is happening, you do not leave your pets behind. Make sure you have a plan. Prepare a safe room for your pets to be in. In my other video about thunderstorms, we learned that 30 out of 32 dogs have a thunderstorm anxiety. Prepare boarding instructions ahead of time. Preparing these instructions ahead of time is going to make it a lot easier for you. So boarding instructions are going to be: how often does your pet eat and at what times? What kind of food do they eat? If they have medications, what medications do they have and what time are they to be given? This is really good to have on hand in case you need to quickly take them to a boarding facility. Know where your local evacuation shelters are. Knowing this ahead of time will make it a lot easier for you. You can call ahead and find out if they accommodate pets. If they don't, find one that does. Know about pet-friendly hotels and restaurants. If you know that ahead of time, that will make it a lot easier for you if you have to evacuate your house. Bringfido.com is a resource that I use for that. Create a lost pet poster ahead of time. The reason why I say this is because pets get lost all the time during these kinds of events. It's sad, but if you have that poster prepared ahead of time, you're far more likely to find your pet. Have a plan for evacuating the house and stick with it. Practice it a couple of times. Desensitize your dog to thunderstorms ahead of time, even if we don't have a thunderstorm anxiety. That way, when the thunderstorm does roll in and now we're having to evacuate, sometimes it's still storming when we have to evacuate, it's going to keep their anxiety lower. Get a crate big enough for your pet to stand and lay down in. And the reason why, even if your dog has never been crated before or you don't normally crate, you still want to have that crate, because if you have to evacuate, the evacuators will insist that you keep your dog in a crate. If you don't have a crate, they're then going to have to try to find one for you, and you might have to wait longer to be evacuated. Familiarize and desensitize your dog to the crate ahead of time. Don't just throw them in there in the midst of all that stress. That's very stressful for them. So desensitize and familiarize ahead of time. Practice traveling with your dog in the car. If your dog doesn't normally travel with you in the car, they're not going to understand what's going on, especially during a stressful event. So practice driving around with them in the car ahead of time. Make sure you label the crate. Your dog's name, your contact information, and include boarding instructions on there. If you laminate the boarding instructions, that will be incredibly helpful. Create an emergency kit and keep it by the door. You could even make 2 and keep one in your car and one in the house, just in case for whatever reason you can't get to the one in the house. This kit should include your dog's medical records and vaccine records, any medications that your dog needs and when they need to take them, which will be on your boarding instructions. Take 3 to 7 days worth of food and water for both you and your pet, a collapsible food and water bowl, a first aid kit for your dog and yourself, and a veterinarian would be able to help you with what to put in a first aid kit, disposable bags for your dog's waste, extra reflective leashes and collars, potty pads and or litter box, and of course your lost dog posters, extra blankets, toys, chew toys, etc. Anything extra that you know your pet needs and likes to have, make sure they have it. Don't just expect your dog to be in the crate the whole time with nothing to do. Give them something to do. Get a Kong, get some peanut butter that you can fill it with to keep them busy. Hundreds and thousands of pets go missing during hurricanes. Many never return back to their owners due to poor identification. Due to overpopulation in shelters, many of them get euthanized. I want to say a thank you to all the emergency rescue teams, Red Cross, volunteers, etc., for the amazing effort that you do during hurricanes and natural disasters. What you guys do is just amazing. In the description, I will put a link that you can donate to survivors of Hurricane Dorian and where you can volunteer. So please check out those links if you can donate your time or some money to help survivors from Hurricane Dorian. We should do that. That's part of coming together. So that's it from Barker Canine Academy. If you liked this video, give it a good thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that bell to subscribe. Otherwise, we will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.